all remember a plucky little guy called Adolf Hitler who went on to live in Argentina. But could Germany ever return to fascism? And might fascism look a little different from the marching old swastika bearer himself, the chaplain-faced king of the Nazis, the Holocaust entrepreneur Adolf Hitler? Is Germany about to relapse in fascism while trying to prevent fascism? Let's get right into it. So, the AfD, that's a nationalist party in Germany that seem to be campaigning primarily around ending war, are, by the verdict of 50% of German voters, the most popular party in the country. And here's what's happening now in this round of elections in that great nation. Germany's conservative leader, Friedrich Merz, narrowly lost a vote in the Bundestag to become the next chancellor in an unexpected setback that plunges Europe's largest economy, that's the way we look at things, into political uncertainty. Merz seemed on course to win a majority of 13, but failed to gain a simple majority of 1 by 6 votes. The far-right alternative for Germany, AfD, far-right, that's what they are, which finished second in the most recent election, demanded a fresh election after Merz's loss, the first time in German history that a chancellor designate has failed to win in the first round of voting. So what you've got in Germany right now is a right-wing party and a left-wing party bonded together simply to oppose the AfD and to ignore the democratic will of the German people, who probably care about these issues, I bet. Migration, and I imagine war, and resources within Germany being spent within Germany. Nigel Farage, a man with whom I've had many a public spat, plainly said that the UK would not be the first nation to leave the EU. Let me know in the comments and chat, who's going to be next to leave the EU? Will it be France? Will it be Germany? Because across the world, we're seeing the rise of nativism and populism as people reject globalism, primarily because of migration and the sense that the state primarily serves corporate, commercial, globalist interests rather than the domestic population. Whether that's their opposition to farmers and their attempts to control food sources, or their attempts to turn us all into digital prisoners with chips under our skin but no chips on our plates. This is the time for the people of Germany to rise up, and it seems that they are responding to that clarion call. Let's get into this story in depth and look at the reporting of our old friends at the BBC, state-funded media that primarily want you to be compliant, obedient, subservient little prisoners of the state. That's what the BBC want. The BBC are no longer the channel of David Attenborough. They're the channel of paedophiles undercover, of denial, of shutdowns, lockdowns, and centralised control. Let me know in the comments and chat if you agree with that. Here's the BBC's reporting on Germany. They've already, and when I say they, I mean the EU, stepped in and intervened in sovereign elections in Romania. Will they step in Germany? Will the EU not rest until they've created some peculiar cartel across Europe where the citizens of these great nations are all controlled and cowed and broken? Let's see what the BBC have got to say to us on the German elections.
Now to politics in Germany, where the far-right political party, the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, has been classified as an extremist organisation by the country's domestic intelligence agency. The AfD made major gains in recent parliamentary elections, standing on a platform of opposing immigration.
Okay, so they're anti-immigration. That's one of the positions you can take in a democracy. You can be pro-immigration, you can be anti-immigration. It's actually, in a democracy where you have free speech, up to you.
According to the agency, the AfD wants to exclude people from the democratic process based on their ancestry or ethnicity. And this, it said, is incompatible with the German constitution. The AfD has described the news as a heavy blow to democracy. Well, let's speak now to Clara Pfeffer, political correspondent for German outlets RTL and NTV. Clara, thank you very much for joining us today to tell us more about this. And take us through what the intelligence agencies are saying, their reasoning for this decision.
I can tell you this from behind my incredibly beautiful sapphire eyes, that the reason it's being classified in this manner is because the German people are trying to vote the AfD into power, and that will be antithetical to the imperialist globalist goals of the EU and the sets of powers that masquerade behind them. You'll remember, of course, that during the pandemic, the EU, along with other organisations like the WHO, were able to make extraordinary decisions like taxation, censorship, relating to a whole variety of decisions that bypassed the the will of the German people, the British people, the French people, the American people, and we're going to ensure that democracy is simply a word that we use to cover institutions controlled by centralised forces, not the will of the people. If people are anti-migration, you'd think that the people would be able to vote for anti-migration policies. Not here, you bloody well didn't.
Yes, thank you very much, and hello from Berlin. They are basically confirming a suspicion that they've been investigating for years now. So the AfD has been a case of suspicion of being extremist for years, and now they've compiled a paper of 1,100 pages that is saying we have it confirmed. We know that the AfD is not against, it is against basically the democratic principles of our German constitution.
Because they're against democratic principles, you can't vote for them. But isn't that against democratic principles? Shut up! Shut up! Ich Reichenstein into the camps! Into the camps! We must prevent dictatorships and tyranny! We are, after all, Germany that saw the rise of fascism. And in order to prevent further fascism, we must control democracy outside of the will of the people, using unelected principles and bureaucracies that are not answerable to the German people. Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
Specifically because it is trying to exclude entire groups, especially people with a migrational background and people who are of Muslim religion. So they have found proof, and that's not everything. They've also found more and more proof and put it together into that paper, saying that the AfD is repeatedly using Nazi slogans that are usually not allowed in Germany. They have been saying that we should change our way of remembering the Holocaust. So they've just put everything together that we've been seeing, and also many people have known for years. And
even, by the way, remembering the Holocaust, just don't do Holocausts. Don't do Holocausts. Don't judge people on the basis of their religion. Don't round people up. Don't kill people. Don't try to subvert democracy, claiming that you help people. What are they going to do now? Burn down the Reichstag? The Reichstag's burned down, so we're going to have to suspend order. The pandemic was the contemporary global equivalent of the burning down of the Reichstag, i.e. a crisis that facilitated and legitimized further authoritarianism, in the same way that 9/11 was a burning down of the Reichstag, in the same way that many of these crises, Pearl Harbor, are used to legitimize further authority. Of course, we're all democratic. We all believe in democracy so hard that I had to push anal beads up my bottom made of democracy and yank them out in a rage when I heard that people were voting for an anti-migration party. If you live in a democracy and people vote against migration, guess what you do? Is it A, have less migration, or B, claim that they're racist? It's A. Otherwise, you're not a democracy anymore. Free speech is under attack, mine particularly, yours and everybody's, whether it's British government officials demonetising people on YouTube, putting people in jail for Facebook posts, or the various other ways the nefarious systems and institutions that work, I reckon, for Satan drag us down into the pit. We have to fight back. And how are we going to fight back? Rumble. When major advertisers conspired to pull their dollars like Dunkin' Donuts, they said that Rumble had a right-wing culture. Well, that can't be true. Let's have a look at just some of the posts here. I come on here just to look at men in tight-fitted denim hot pants. That's from Don Trump Jr. All in the Rumble chat. This is a free speech conduit where you're free to be whoever you want to be. It's all available to you in the Rumble chat. For a limited time, you can get 10 of your American dollars off, and you can use crypto, baby, using the promo code APAC. No, using the promo code BRAND. Visit rumble.com/brand and get your discount today. Together we can turn the crimson tide of foaming propaganda and stay free together. Click the link.
You must also know that the AfD is already classified as extremist in 3 different states in Germany, former Eastern German states. So this is now basically confirming that that is the case not only for these 3 states, but for the entire German country.
Interesting comments from Chancellor Olaf Scholz. He's not Chancellor for very much longer, of course, but he's saying the Domestic Intelligence Agency provides very detailed justification, but ban proceedings must not be rushed. What sort of discussion is there about a potential ban?
Yeah, that's a highly political discussion that has been going on for years, and especially in the last couple of months, it has also been discussed a lot. The last government, or the last Bundestag that was just re-elected, said that they tried to do it. They tried to get a majority. They failed. There were not enough members of parliament who were in favor of starting a ban. That's also a very long process. And the discussion is basically, how do we get that party smaller? That's what the other political parties want to reach, and they are worried that if you try it with an actual ban and that whole process, that will take years. And
they're telling you in plain sight, we would like to ban that political party, but it's going to take too long because it's illegal to ban political parties. So what we're going to do is maneuver and gerrymander and manipulate to ensure that centralist parties, the normal parties that you're able to vote for, this one or this one, that basically are the same and will do the same thing. As Noam Chomsky, that right-wing Nazi fascist, used to say, in all matters where both parties agree, you have no choice at all. In all matters where both parties agree, you have no choice at all. The left-wing party and the right-wing party plainly agreed. The AFD came in and represented the will of the people, so they just have to maneuver and find ways to shut that down. Try to remember these basic maxims that we've been granted by the great cultural prophets. Even if you don't agree with Noam Chomsky, went to Epstein Island, whatever, like, you have to take from them what you can. Or Julian Assange. If you don't like Julian Assange, I can't imagine what reasons you would have for denying that great man. But when he tells us the function of government is to take public money and to put it into private hands, look at the Ukraine war, look at the Afghanistan war, look at the pandemic. Does that make sense? Yes. Right, we can trust Julian Assange then, can't we, on that basis? Also, we can trust him on the basis that he did 11 years of serious bird in embassies and ACAT prisons rather than not stand up for what he believes in. If we can't come together and support plain heroes such as him, what hope is there for us? We don't even deserve salvation. What's going on in Germany is extremely serious now because they're using the very real, appalling abomination of the events surrounding the Second World War, notably the Holocaust, to legitimise an evolution and an advance on fascism, a bureaucratic and administrative type of fascism. It's not going to be militaristic now. It's not going to be jackboots in 2025. It's going to be COVID. It's going to be germs. It's going to be, we're here to help you. You just need to track their moral argument. Bitcoin, it's evil. It's bad for the environment. Look, people are not listening to us anymore. They don't trust us. Okay, we're starting our own cryptocurrencies. What? Hold on, you just said they were bad for the environment. Yeah, it was convenient to say that then. We don't believe that anymore. Come on, man. Stay awake. Stay awake. Don't get caught up on the lower rungs. I don't like the Jews. I don't like the Muslims. You've allowed yourself to be distracted. Deep breath. Fight the power.
Throughout those years, the AfD will have the opportunity to claim that that's being a cause, that they are actually the victims, that it's not transparent, that they're being surveyed by the state. So that will also be an opportunity for the AfD to maybe grow even further and mobilize.
Yeah, and the AfD, they are talking about legal action in response to this classification, aren't they?
Exactly. They are saying that they want to take legal actions. They've also tried that against that case of suspicion that has been going on for years. Last year, a court in Münster confirmed that they are a case of suspicion. There is still some more legal action going on, and they will also now try to have legal actions against that classification, that confirmation of this classification, because I think that's important to understand that we've already been seeing that for years, and now it's basically a confirmation of what the Bundesamt für Verfassungsschutz, which is the institution that tries to make sure that our constitution is protected in Germany, has been seeing and surveying for years. So they will take legal actions. I don't know how much possibility of success there is, but obviously that delays things, and the discussion will be out there for months and months to go.
We've got to protect you from the AfD because they will Nazi you right back into yesteryear. Or could it be that the AfD are topping polls and they're seriously concerned about losing their stranglehold on the levers of power? Certainly Elon, I think that's how you say his name, Elon Musk, believes that to be the case. Le Pen banned from an election in France. Bolsonaro banned from elections in Brazil. Georgescu banned from elections in Romania, or at least his election win was cancelled. AfD designated as an extremist group. What they are claiming is that they have a higher authority than the democracy that they are claiming to protect. They say we are protecting democracy, we are protecting our constitution, and in order to do that we have to deny its own principles. That kind of interwoven hypocrisy is a clear indicator of a counterfeit mentality. Globalism and imperialism is the greatest threat we face. Whilst some of you may not like Donald Trump, I know most of you love Donald Trump, I'm hoping that this reaches people that have a contrary opinion. Whilst you might see him as a populist demagogue and as a vulgarian, as a million different things, what he fundamentally is, in essence, is a stumbling block for the forces of imperialism, because he was able to bypass the various traps and obstacles set by systems of centralized control. You can either have Jeb Bush or you can have Joe Biden. How about fuck you? We're gonna go crazy. In Canada, they've managed to wrangle it back. There was that trucker uprising during the pandemic. That was the beginning of a potential threat. In my country, the UK, people are becoming more patriotic, more Christian, more nationalistic. They're trying to stamp that out. We can't have these farmer protests. We can't have people asking questions about these rape gang inquiries. In Germany, people are becoming more nationalist. Across the world, people are awakening. Now, their first point of recourse is usually nativism, understandably, because they recognise that they're being penalised by globalism, and migration is one of the most readable ways of acknowledging and recognising that you're not in control of your country. It's very obvious and very root one. Whilst I believe 100% in compassion, in service, in love, in one human family, what I believe in also is when it comes to systems of democracy, if you claim that the mandate of the masses is your system of guidance and governance, then you ignore it when it doesn't suit you. You are already not a democracy. You are already not a democracy. You can't murder people into salvation. They are the very threat that they claim to protect you from. But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat? Remember, if you don't have Rumble Premium yet, get Rumble Premium right now to get additional content from me every single day, and Crowder, and Glenn Greenwald, and Rubin, and all of that crew.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.